Hello, I'm Justin from Developer AI, and today I want to walk you through the content generation and creativity process I do as I'm working through preparing something like a session talk I have coming up in Scotland here called From Concept to Code, Leveraging LLMs for Agile Excellence. And let's dig in. So starting off, here's the actual abstract that was submitted and accepted for Lean Agile Scotland in September this year. So the session says unlock the next level of Agile and XP development by integrating large language models like ChatGPT, GitHub Copilot across the software development lifecycle. So as we look through this was the base point. So what I did is I generated a AI assistant to help me along. I have this assistant I created OpenAI through their assistance API, and I have other videos that document how to create and set one of these up. These are the instructions for the assistant. It is a expert conference presenter on artificial intelligence, software engineering, and agile methods, particularly extreme programming. Based upon our insight, and it's a bunch of boilerplate stuff that I use in order to create a prompt such that I can have an interactive conversation with, as opposed to a one-shot send and respond. So it's got a lot of stuff in here. It's got information about how to actually conduct itself in a procedure. It starts chat, asks questions, takes in feedback, and generates content. And then it also has the idea of an APEX product definition inside of it. So we'll go over that next. So over on Apex real quick, I took their product and I logged in and I started a new chat. And through that, I was able to create this AI concept to code product. But instead of a product, I'm really treating it as a conference presentation. That is my end product. So revolutionizing software development with AI from concept to code. So that's the whole presentation. And we could look through and it has things for the problem, the business case, product vision, all of the standard Apex features, such as when it's creating a product definition, how to technology, so on and so forth. So I've taken all that and I've exported it, and that is included inside this assistant. When we jump back to here, what I was able to create with the assistant is this outline of the presentation. At a high level, I'm saying it's for a 45-minute session. And then I'm saying I'm going to introduce myself. I'm going to set the stage, role of AI and extreme programming. I have a short video clip that I'm going to present. And what I did in order to create this, I had a whole conversation with my AI assistant over here. So this would be one of the threads in which I just started off. This was actually helping me out with the Apex product definition itself before I even got started. So then if I go to the other thread, you can see the conversation I had with it is pretty extensive in order to end up with the outline and the detailed outline I eventually come to at the end. So it goes through, says, hey, beyond generative AI, levels of LLM interactions, which is one of the presentations I gave at a previous meetup. It has the various steps of AIXP, as I have given them acronyms: vision, adapt, and leap, and then some wrap up and conclusion. So if we look at the detailed outline, it's much more than that. It has everything inside of it as far as like breaking down what the presentation will be into much more granular as opposed to that high level. So in creating this bot, I have various articles about agile and extreme programming, things on this topic I have personally generated content about. So from videos to articles, different presentations, like I mentioned, the harnessing OpenAI assistance, that's in there because that is where I talk about levels of AI interactions. And if we look at how this is actually set up real quick, I have this run concept of code, which at the very start just sets up the assistant and can start a chat and send a message. And that's where I'm actually down here. But all the data into it are all these articles, presentations, basically everything inside of this directory here is loaded as a RAG context into that assistant, so I can ask it questions about anything. With all of that, what I'm going to try to do now in the next couple minutes is generate a rough presentation outline to be used inside of PowerPoint. So I'm going to start off with saying, given the detailed outline in your context, can we create a PowerPoint presentation outline that aligns with timings and the content of the presentation? And we're going to send that off and see what it comes back with. So sometimes I interact with my assistants like this on the command line just because it's easier for me. But I think going through the playground in OpenAI's assistant is a little bit prettier of an interface because it actually does the highlighting and formatting of the text. Although on the terminal, I get the markdown, so there's benefits there. It took a minute for it to generate a response because it had a lot of citations in it. And this is where it's actually pulling information from its context. And it created the slides at a high level. I think the timings are a bit off, so I'm going to ask it to maybe expand those into a couple slides each. You can see we're aligning pretty well because it says like levels of LLM interactions. And if I come back over to my actual detailed outline, I do have a detailed section for levels of LLM interactions. And as opposed to it being one giant slide, I'd like to break this up into a couple chunks, but at least you got the high level concept. So this looks pretty good. And what I would do next is I would maybe ask it to break those up. For purposes of this video, let's say this is fantastic. Can you create me a Python program that will generate a PowerPoint presentation for this? And then it responded, pip install Python PPTX, which I already believe I have in a project. And then it gives me a script that is basically going to add a bunch of slides to a PowerPoint presentation. And if we took this real quick and we come over to our workspace again, and I had a build slides thing already. I don't know what it's all going to ask, but if we take that and it didn't use that, that's okay. And then we're going to hit run this Python file real quick. And it's doing its thing down here. And then if we look at this, we can reveal in Finder. And if we open it, it's not pretty, but if I apply a template to it and I go through and I'm going to actually groom it and expand those sections out, like I said, it generated us a pretty quick PowerPoint presentation we could use as a rough draft. We could even submit this to someone if they're saying, hey, how's your talk coming? And that's going to wrap for us on this quick section on generating content using an OpenAI assistant and some custom data integrations. I look forward to seeing everyone at Lean Agile Scotland and in Orlando for Agile DevOps in October. And have a great day and happy coding. Thank you.